in our value education class, we will be discussing living and working together. Living and working together. Now, why is that important? Living and working together. Okay, look at our lesson for today. It's to promote the qualities of sharing, cooperation, mutual help, which builds trust and teamwork. Working harmoniously in groups with others reduces competition and emphasizes the joy of working as a team. So, living and working together. In this context, we're talking about a group of people, a team, who are working together for a common outcome, a common goal. Okay? Now, one of the things it emphasizes is that it teaches us how to work with others in cooperation rather than competition. Competition should be in sports. It should not be part of the team dynamic. There's no competition here. What it is a sharing of information. It is a way of interacting and communicating with others in our small group that is both productive, enjoyable, and we learn from each other. So it's like a bee going to different flowers. Many different flowers, different pollen, but the bee comes here and here and here. This is your team. So what it's doing is it's gathering pollen from all these different flowers so that the honey it makes is going to be more tasty, more flavorful, because it went to more than just one flower. It's like us. When we live and work together, a family in one way, if you will, is a team, isn't it? Mom, dad, brothers, sisters, whoever. It's a team. You get together in the evening, you talk, have dinner together, you chat, you share information. This gives us an opportunity, whether it's at home, at school, or as you get older in your workplace, of being able to share information for a common goal or a common good, if you will, like the harmony of the family. So it's always constructive, never destructive. Everybody in a team is equal. There's no competition. Only each person in the team is encouraged to share, to participate, because you never know who in that little group may come with the one thought that, opens the door to being successful in whatever that team is chartered to do, that has to accomplish. Team resources. We never compete with each other. We always share with each other. Nobody's trying to be the best in a team. There is no best in a team. There are simply people with ideas. Some may be better than others, but it is not your position to evaluate somebody else's idea. That's the team leader, or the person who is responsible for coordinating the efforts of that team. Because if we're judging, we're limiting, aren't we? There's an exercise along with this whole team concept. It's called brainstorming. I found this to be very useful in business and also in certain social settings where we want to accomplish a particular goal. Okay? And everybody just, throws stuff out. No evaluating, no saying this is good, bad, it's this or that. No. You just write it down. You write it down. So brainstorming is a free flow of thought, not restricted. I mean, there may be something come up that may seem not relevant, but when looked at later with other ideas, now you may see the connection. So you never evaluate or judge ideas in a team initially. You just get them out. You get them out. Also, it's a good lesson in not to judge others according to our personal standards, likes, or dislikes. This is a very good social skill because judgment, thinking that this person is less than this person because of whatever reason is not helpful. And it brings out what I would call negative character traits. Because judgment, being judgmental, is based on your ego, isn't it? It's based on what you have learned, what you have thought about, what you have done, and believing that the way you do things or the way you think about things are better than others. Try to get that out of your heads right now. It'll help you. Because what you're doing, when your ego is in the forefront, when you're being judgmental, you're cutting off potential input that could be valuable. It may or may not, but it could be. So what we're doing is we're limiting ourselves. Okay? So pay attention to me, not what's on the board at the moment. So it's knowledge sharing, everyone benefits. Everyone benefits. This is working together. Living together, could be your family, your classmates, right? Now, I'm sure that many of you have a group of your friends that you talk with, don't you? You get together and you chat and talk about sports or whatever you talk about, dresses. I'm not sure what girls talk about because I never had that experience, at least that I can remember. Anyway, but it's the same principle. It's the same principle. It may not have a specific outcome, like you're trying to accomplish something. All you're doing is you're sharing information. You're sharing ideas and thoughts. Who's the best football team? Or look what happened over in cricket the other day. And keep it open. Now you can have your opinion. An opinion is, I like this one because of, as opposed to, I think this person is, terrible, awful, and, that's taking it a little too far. Me, when I speak about any subject, I try to focus on the positive. I try to focus on this player I thought was really good because he did this, this, and this. Messier, for example, in a soccer match. Wow, did you see the goal that he made the other day? What is the point of talking about the guy who missed it? Just, it's not productive. It doesn't bring joy. I mean, if you get joy from somebody else's failure, quite honestly, you're kind of a jerk. You should never take pleasure in somebody else's troubles. I've seen many times where somebody may fall or do something where it embarrasses them and everybody laughs at them. They think it's hilarious. Fell on his butt and hurt himself. But yet I'm going to laugh. What are you standing up for? What's so important? If you're standing up and you're trying to read the blackboard, you're not listening to me. Your attention is split. If your attention is split, you won't learn anything from anything. You're just going to get half of each. Okay? So pay attention to me right now. Later on, we can discuss what's on the board. Don't worry about it. Okay? But the other aspect of living and working together is we never take pleasure or find humor in somebody else's pain or adversity. You wouldn't want that to be done to you, would you? So why would you do that to anyone else? You always try to uplift, never push down. Does that make sense? Always try to uplift. Because when you do that, you're setting a pattern of thinking. You're setting a pattern for feeling within yourself. And you're responsible for what you become in life because you're the one who is the architect. You're the one who is the builder of your life. And if we try to focus on things that are positive, if somebody falls, don't laugh at them. Give them a hand. Are you hurt? You all right? You know, help brush them off or whatever. Never laugh. That's degrading for you. It is degrading for them. If you're laughing at someone who has been injured, who does something that may seem stupid or silly, here's what you're trying to do. You're trying to push them down so you can feel better about yourself. Think about it a minute. Isn't that what's going on? If you're being either judgmental or you're laughing at someone's misfortune, why are you doing it? Look at yourself. Look at what is causing you to do that. It's your ego that is trying to push itself to the forefront at the expense of pushing someone else down. Not good. Not good. Be kind to each other. Be compassionate. It pays tenfold back to you. By the way, if you laugh at others' misfortune, or if you judge others, be sure it will come back to you. Be sure it will come back. So for your own safety, if nothing else in the beginning, be understanding, be compassionate. Don't put yourself as the center of attention. Be caring. Okay? And this is in a team effort as well. When you're in a team, if you demonstrate that you care about what somebody else says, you're interested in what they have to say, they will more than likely treat you the same way. Because they will use your actions as an example. And that's the way things either go in a upward direction or downward, is how people treat each other. So look at yourselves carefully before you make that comment, before you laugh at someone, before you judge that individual on whatever grounds. Ask yourself this question: why am I doing it? I think if you really are honest with yourself, you will find that you are trying to make yourself look better and somebody else look worse. That never has a good outcome in the end, by the way. It might take a while, but the universe is a great mathematician. It keeps things in balance. Call it the law of karma, call it action and reaction, thermodynamics. Doesn't matter what we call it, it just is. It just is. That old saying, as we sow, so shall we reap. That which you treat others, you will receive in return. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but know this. That someday, maybe when you're most weak or vulnerable, boom, it'll return. So, just use common sense. How would I like to be treated? And work from that point. Okay? So in a team, every member is encouraged to participate and contribute to the task at hand, which results in compounded outputs. What does that mean, compounded outputs? There's another class I teach, which is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Like, if you're effective, it means that you could reproduce good results over and over again. That's being effective. Not just doing once and then that's it. But somebody who's effective can repeat successes in different areas. There is something in that class which is called synergy. Synergy is when the output is greater than the sum of the inputs. Let me say that again. Synergy means that the output, that which is produced, is greater than the sum of the individual inputs. That is what we mean by compounded outputs. Compounded. It's more than you started with. So, when we share ideas, what's happening is that this person here will hear a word or a phrase that you said. That will spark a train of thought that they would never have thought of on their own. But that one phrase, that one word that you said sparked an idea. That sparking of that idea that was not planned for is what we mean by compounding your output. That means that it's going to get more. And the more ideas that people share, the more it triggers ideas in others. This is why we never judge. Because as soon as you start judging others' ideas, you shut them down. And you lose everything. I don't care if what they said was the most idiotic thing in the planet. Doesn't matter. Listen, don't judge. Pick that one thing within what they said that was valuable, that it was of value. And if nothing is valuable, according to you, you still don't know if somebody else might think that it is. Because we are all built different. We all think different. We are motivated by different things. So what might not be useful to you, in more likely, will be of interest or valuable to someone else. That's why we never judge. Because we don't know all the different interactions that we have with a group of people called a team. So, once you get all of your ideas out, let's say we're in a team and we have to produce some output, whether it's a plan or a design or whatever, it doesn't matter what it is. Only when all the ideas are out do you begin evaluating them to see which ones or pieces relate to our necessary output. And you all share in that discussion, being respectful of anyone's ideas. It may not have any bearing on our, the output product. It may not, but that's okay. Maybe the next time they'll have the idea that, cracks the wall if you get blocked. But if you start judging, they'll never contribute again, or they'll feel very hesitant to contribute again. And you just lost a valuable resource. Never just look at today, but just store things inside and see at some point in the future it may be of great value. This is not only compounding the output, but it also adds to your own knowledge. That one thing that someone said, or the way they said it, at some point in the future, it may be incredibly useful. You may be the one, based on someone's idea, that can have a tremendous impact on solving a problem, creating a new idea. right? So, if, as a matter of personal style, a style is the way we act and interact. That's our style. If we keep that positive, we do not shut off opportunity. We don't shut off opportunity. And that's what's important. You never know. You just never know when that one thing or that individual will be of incredible value to you. Keep yourself open-minded. Keep yourself open-minded. And also, keep your heart open. Be compassionate, be kind. Because that's what we would want for ourselves, right? So, if we live and interact in a positive way, in a way that supports life, that supports the growth of happiness, then that will set the tone for our own life. One way of looking at it is like a piece of music. You've heard music that was beautiful, melodious, gentle. It made you feel good. It relaxed you. That's a tone, a sound, a movement of energy in a particular way. Also, we have heard sounds and music that may to us be discordant. May not be to someone, but to us, it may be discordant. Each one of us writes our own music. Each one of us writes our own symphony of life. Wouldn't it be nice if that symphony of life that we wrote was harmonious, brought joy, peace to others? Because in doing so, we in return will feel that within ourselves. It just happens. Why? I don't know. It just does. It's the way life works. And I've had enough experience to be pretty certain that, at least for me, that it worked out that way. I mean, we all make mistakes, okay? There are times we just mess up. Don't beat yourself up about it, okay? Whether you're in a group or by yourself, don't beat yourself up and say, oh, geez, I messed that up. And then lament or feel bad about some particular thing that you've done. That's useless. It doesn't help. But here's what you do. What can I learn from that? From this problem, from this error, from this failure? What can I learn? Then it becomes useful. Even failures. Actually, failures are the most useful. Because you don't really learn anything from your successes. You've got that one down. But if you're doing, and you're not afraid to do, and you fail, examine what that was. See what you could do differently. See what you could do better. Turn that failure into a lesson. Turn it into a lesson. It now, instead of being a blockage, right? Instead of blocking like a wall, it becomes a foundation for building on top of, building strength. You see the difference? So always look for the lesson in any problem that you may have in life, any failure. Find the lesson. Then it becomes useful to you. Instead of building a wall, you build a foundation, which supports the rest of your building of life. Yeah? So, those are some of my thoughts and ideas about how to work together, how to do so in a way that is beneficial, not just to the group, but to the individuals of the group, by compounding the good ideas, even pieces, toward what we want to accomplish. Can anyone here give me an example of whether you were with a group of friends or in some sort of a team effort, whether it's playing sports or swimming or whatever? Can you give me an example of something that was an opportunity to share ideas and be able to use those ideas together to better the outcome of your, yes. Please, stand up.
Sir, if we have some activity, we have to work in a team to share ideas.
Yes, we share ideas if we're doing an activity. And we never judge others. Heck, we don't even judge ours. Just get it out there. See what happens. Sure.
Sharing knowledge is good for others and giving knowledge.
Yes, very good. Excellent. Ladies, come on. You can't let the boys come up with all the ideas. Let me see some hands over here. Or I'll pick. Everything. Oh, he's not going to pick me, is he? No, just a second. I'll get to you in a moment. It's the ladies' turn. Here, why don't you give me an example? Please, stand up. Give me an example. You'll be next. Go ahead. An example of working with others together.
In the class, we can do the softball. We can contribute and take the ideas of others. And by the sharing of ideas, we can decorate our classes.
Wonderful. Good example. She is in a class, sharing ideas in a class. Here's a great opportunities for doing that in a classroom. When the teacher asks you, come up with ideas. Don't try to prejudge them because it'll freeze you into being immobile and you won't do anything. Just raise your hand and stand up. What's the worst that can happen? Huh? I mean, come on, nobody's going to kill you for coming up with something. You wanted to say something?
Speak loud.
Give us project, we can do it by homework, so it becomes easier.
Yes. When the teacher gives you a project or gives a project to the class, you can bring all your ideas forward. Write them down, by the way. Any idea, write it down because you won't remember them all. Just write things down and then kind of work them like you would a puzzle. Where does the idea fit in the puzzle that we're trying to complete? Someplace it'll fit if you look hard enough. Somebody else raise their hand up here. Yeah. Yes, please.
In teamwork, so we have to team up, and someone is saying us that don't do like that, do like this, so we have to accept that thing that they have done wrong, and accept that also that if he or she, if the particular person is telling us that do like this, so we have to learn from.
Very good. He brought up a very good point. He said that sometimes that you're in a group, you're doing something, you can sit, and somebody says, no, that's not it. You know, I mean, if it was me, then what I would do is I would say, okay, if what I said was not on target, on point, can you give me a suggestion? In other words, use that as an opportunity to learn something new and put in your own toolbox. Don't be afraid to ask. You know, a question. If you did something that wasn't right, ask, well, can you give me an idea of, based on what I said, how it might be better? So this way, you're actually seeking knowledge. That's always a good thing. Yes, ma'am.
Speak loud.
You'll have to speak louder because I'm deaf.
Teamwork is a part of.
Yes, teamwork is a part of life. We don't exist in isolation, do we? We live and work with others. We can't get away from that. So the faster we learn how to do that in a way that's going to benefit us, the better off we'll be. Just a moment. Yes, please.
There are a lot of conflicts, but when we were in the STEM fest, we worked as a team and kept those conflicts aside. He gave us the idea of waste management, and I also contributed of solar aeroplanes. So it helped us to win the game.
There you go. There's another great example. There were conflicts, but they didn't let the conflicts derail their project. They figured a way around them, and they won the competition. That's a great example. Great example. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I was in previous school. There was our class teacher announced that after 2 or 3 months, our Olympiad exams will start. So tell me the names who will be participating in some subjects. So we four girls gave the names for Science Olympiad, and buy only one book, and everyone gets 25 rupees because one book cost 100 rupees, sir. That's why we give 25 rupees each to the sir, and sir gives us only one book. So one day I kept that book for study, and I wrote that 2-3 pages I wrote down in my rough notebook and studied it carefully, and like this we pass it out day by day.
Good, wonderful, good idea. It's how do you build consensus? How do you build that spirit, the spirit of working as a team, where everybody contributes something, then they feel part of that team. You know, they feel like, okay, I'm engaged. I'm part of the machine. And you can do this with putting some money together to get a particular book you might need, or whatever it is. Now people are participating. Now they feel like a team. Yes, ma'am.
The cricket team is going to means the match is going to be, then the team of them plays and win the match by some of them is good in bowling or in batting, so by teamwork they win stuff.
Yes. In this particular instance, they won a match by working as a team. No one person can win on their own. You win or lose as a team. And if you can work as a team and use each other's strengths and shore up the weaknesses, that's when everybody wins. Not one person, but the whole team wins. Very good, thank you. Yes, at the back.
Sir, when people do work, they do teamwork peacefully, their work gets stronger and better results there.
Absolutely. He brought up a very good point. When you're working as a team, you can't get loud and excited. I mean, it's good to be excited, but when you're working as a team, you've got to keep it at a certain level in order that everybody can understand and not have to deal with emotions, but the information. Okay? And then as a result of that, that's when people really learn what it is that person or group of people was trying to say. Because it's clear. It's not clouded by emotions. Right? It's factual. Now, in being intense and passionate doesn't mean that you're, bouncing off of walls. Being passionate about something is good, but don't let that passion turn negative. Don't let it, instead of becoming an advantage, become a disadvantage. That's important. Know where the level is. Okay? Yes, please.
So one stick can break very easily, but the bunch of stick can't be break easily, and it works like a team.
That's right. Things are stronger when you work as a team. Individually, we can break easily, but working as a team, remember we talked about compounding the output? Part of that is compounding our strengths. if we compound our strengths, then we're going to have a much better chance of accomplishing our goals. It's all very good. Okay, CK ma'am, I think you guys got it. Okay, good job. Wonderful. Thank you for all of you who participated.